All right, are you guys ready for Andy? Andy! Stand close enough to the mic where they can hear you, but do not take the mic out of the stand.
Okay.
You're going to do great.
A few weeks ago, I went to the doctor to get a checkup. They took my blood pressure, they took my weight, my height, and then I had to go fill a questionnaire out and wait in the waiting room. Eventually, the doctor called me through. He was an old man with glasses. He looked at me, then he looked at a computer screen. He looked at his notes. He looked at the computer screen again, looked at his notes. And eventually, he looked at me, and he said really slowly, "Mr. Rennie, you're a beast." I can't tell you how happy I was. I was simultaneously relieved, justified, ecstatic. I got goosebumps. The hair in the back of my neck stood up. I was so happy. The thing is, you probably can't tell by looking at me, but I'm not a natural athlete. That was actually decided by a jury of my peers when I was in elementary school. My biggest fear in life so far has been gym class when I was a kid. And the fear was when we split up into teams. The gym teacher used to pick a couple of athletic kids, and he'd say, "Go and pick your teams, guys." And I would sit there in the bench with my fingers crossed. Now, I was a young kid. I had my whole future in front of me, and all I wanted at that point was to be picked before last. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to be accepted and part of the team. But guess what? It never happened. Not even once did I get picked before last. I was ashamed in front of my whole class every week for years. But that's okay, because now I know I'm a beast. 15 years ago, I went to Atlanta, and I landed in the airport, and there was a big line of people, a massive line, in the immigration. So I lined up, and I finally got in front of the immigration officer, and I took my passport out. And the immigration officer started looking at my passport, and he looked at me and said, "What's that you're wearing?" I said, "Oh, it's a Paris Marathon t-shirt." He said, "Why are you wearing that?" I said, "Well, I did the marathon, right?" He said, "No, you didn't. Get out of here." I'm like, "I'm serious. I did the marathon. As a matter of fact, I'm coming here to do another marathon." He says, "Come on, you're pulling my leg." So as it turned out, just by some queer twist of fate, 10 weeks later, I ended up back in Atlanta in the same airport, and I got in the line. I don't know how many people here have been in Atlanta, but it's a big airport. It's a humongous line. But somehow I ended up with the same immigration officer. When I got to the desk, he looked up, and he put this big smile on his face, and he said in a really, really loud voice, like way too loud, "Oh my God, it's the fat marathon runner." Everybody within earshot heard him, and I was embarrassed. But it's okay, because now I know I'm a beast. So 4 weeks ago, I did a half marathon. During the race, around about mile 10, I saw a young lady walking along the side of the road with her head down like she'd given up. I went up next to her, and I tried to give her some words of encouragement. There was a big hill in front of us, but I knew she could do it. So I said, "Hey, come on, you can do it. You can do it. Every step you take gets you closer to the finish. You know, we're 3/4 of the way done. You can get on your hands and your knees, and you can actually crawl to the finish from here." It didn't look like it was working, so I said, "Just think about the medal. There's a beautiful medal waiting for you 3 miles down the road. You just got to go pick it up. You can do it. You can do it. Go on." So I started running. When I finished the race, I met a few of my running buddies, and they're all like me. They got bellies. They're older. And we're standing talking about the race and our next race and all the normal stuff we talk about. And this pretty 24-year-old or 20-something-year-old girl, like an athlete, came up and tugged me in the shoulder. So I turned around, and she was glowing. She was so happy. And she said, "I got to thank you. I got to thank you so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have finished the race." Oh, my God. I got this recognition in front of all my running pals. I stood back, put my head up, my chest out. I swear I felt a little bit taller. And then she said, "Yeah, I never heard a word you said, but when I saw you running away, I looked at you and I thought, man, if that guy can do it, anybody can do it." So once again, I was embarrassed in front of all my friends. But guess what? It didn't matter because I now know I'm a beast. So back in the doctor's office, I'm sitting there. He just told me I'm a beast. I'm on top of the world. I had a big smile. I leaned over to the old man, and I said, "Doctor, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much." And I shook his hand. He kind of tilted his head. He looked at me kind of funny, and he said, "Mr. Rennie, I don't think you heard me. You're obese." See, the thing is, the challenge I had when I was a 10-year-old kid was I didn't know that what people said and what people told me I can do and what people told me I couldn't do, I didn't know that that didn't define me. I defined myself. I defined my own capabilities. Since then, I now can choose. If you tell me I'm fat, you tell me I'm obese, I can choose to be a beast. That's my choice. That attitude has led me to do 172 marathons. I've traveled all around the world. I've met some fantastic people along the way. So my message for you guys is, if you're faced with a challenge, don't let anybody tell you how you can face that challenge. You need to decide it yourself. Believe in yourself and be a beast. Thank you.